A yacht is missing. Time is crucial. There's a man on board. From hundreds of feet up, eyes in the sky may just save a life. They're Flying Samaritans, volunteers whose self-styled mission is to observe, to preserve.
You can see a tremendous amount, so if people are searching on the ground, one simple aircraft can make a huge difference.
Within the emergency services, we talk about the golden hour of people being in distress. So if Skywatch are there and Skywatch sees someone in the water, they have a much better chance of survival.
What began as a group of flying friends looking out for incidents has grown into a network of 200 pilots nationwide who give up their time, free of charge, to keep a watchful eye over the coast and countryside. And it was all the idea of a retired pilot from North Yorkshire.
We don't do rescues, we're not an emergency service, but if we can help by providing an eye in the sky, that's what we do. We work with the Coast Guard, we work with Mountain Rescue and some police forces, and basically like a flying neighbourhood watch.
And do you find that some people's opinion of what you're doing is that you're kind of do-gooders, or?
Most of our people are ex-airline people, ex-military pilots and such like, and we think that being able to fly an aeroplane is a real privilege. People sometimes say to me, do you do this for nothing? And I say, no, I'm paid in scenery, flying over North Yorkshire.
Are you careful that if you do get involved in a mission that you kind of don't get in the way, if you know what I mean?
Our motto is observe and report, but we tend to tack onto that, observe, report, and then clear off as soon as the professionals are on the job. We don't get in their way at all.
All set. Rock and roll. Ducks away. Let's go.
The short takeoff and slow speed of these small planes is ideal for Skywatch work. Scouring for hazards and incidents that might not be spotted on the ground or at sea. Lost ships, stranded walkers, fires.
Up here on a super clear day like this one, you really do get to see how wonderful our part of the world is. I mean, look, we've got the coastline over there, we've got all this wonderful countryside here. What an incredible view. But you don't just get to see the beauty, you also see the hazards. And that is where Tony here comes in.
I think most people have flown in some sort of an aircraft, but I think most people tend to fly from perhaps Newcastle to Corfu at 30,000 feet. And I don't think people that fly in large commercial aircraft appreciate how much you can see when you're flying in a small aircraft relatively close to the ground.
This man has already experienced the power of Skywatch firsthand. He was flying over the northeast when there was a huge thud.
I gathered it was a bird strike. The aeroplane was really vibrating badly and it was losing height rapidly.
Dave was forced to make an emergency landing. Skywatch volunteers flying in the area were radioed for help.
We saw a white aircraft in a farmer's field, which we assumed to be him, so we flew over the top, circled. Then we radioed the home base to say that he was down safely, and our home base dispatched some people to assist him.
The guys were actually flying above us within about a minute or 2 minutes of us actually landing, and if anything had gone wrong, then at least I had an option for somebody to come and help us out.
Thankfully, Dave was unhurt, but this was proof that the flying expertise of the Skywatch pilots really can deliver quick results. Back in the air, the emergency mission to spot the missing boat is underway.
A small yacht's gone missing. Sailed overnight, was expected to sail overnight from Hartlepool to Sunderland. It's about 15 miles along the coast, along the northeast coast. And we've received a request from the Coast Guard to do an initial search along the coastline just to make sure that this boat hasn't come ashore. and we can do that with a small aircraft in about 10 minutes. To do it on foot would take all day.
And what would be the perfect height to be flying at for a good sighting?
People seem to think that the lower you are, the better. It's not true. Although we can come down to 500 feet, we very rarely do that. We'd prefer to search at about 1,000 to 1,500 feet above the ground. That's pretty well ideal. We can see things with our eyes from that height.
In fact, the information has been passed on to the Skywatch team as part of an exercise, a joint operation with the Coast Guard.
I think you'll find that's the Coast Guard down immediately to our left now.
Give us a wave. Mission complete. Wow, it's amazing to watch another aeroplane flying because it looks like it's just hanging in the air.
Just looks stationary in the air.
Now, I'm a Durham lad. I grew up around these parts, and this flight gives me a golden opportunity that I just can't resist.
Well, we've just taken a little detour away from the mission to take a flight over my old house and where I was born, in Easington Village. I can see the green just below with a slide which is just in front of my old house. Hiya! You can see an extraordinary amount. I mean, it's so clear today anyway, but it's lovely to get such a different perspective on the place where you grew up. Wonderful landing.
What are your hopes for Skywatch in the future?
Well, what I'd like to happen for Skywatch is for it to become much more integrated into the search and rescue structure that we've got in the UK, because we have shown that every single job that we've been called out on, we've performed at 100%. And it seems quite a good idea that you can have an aircraft that costs about as much as a Ford Fiesta to buy and operate, that can actually do a very practical job.
Well, obviously, Alan, it's wonderful work that you do if you are helping people and, of course, saving lives. I know you're in a bit of a rush. You're off now, so I'll let you shut up and disappear into the sky.
Okay.
All the best. Thanks for talking to us.
Big grand challenge to you.
See ya.
Yeah, bye now.
It's been a privilege to fly over the northeast. Some of us might feel uneasy about the rise of the surveillance society, but I find it very reassuring to know that in the future, Skywatch pilots will be keeping an eye out for us.